Hey guys, it's Mike. Welcome back to the shop. This week's video is going to be the first video of the new year. So I'm going to start over. I'm probably going to hit a lot of the same stuff I did last year. I'm trying a bunch of different types of steel, which I need to say thanks to Tom Lipton and Randy Richard both. They both gave me some samples of some different type of steel to use to make the shotgun brakes out of. Tom gave me 4 different bars. 2 of them are hitch pins, and the other 2 are, well, one's it says best guess 1144. It was a pump shaft, and then the other one's 8620, and then the 2 hitch pins. So he gave me those 4 pieces. Randy gave me a piece of the W1 drill rod, which is going to be what I use in this video to machine up the shotgun muzzle brake, which most of that filming is already done. I just got one more little thing to do on it. Also want to say thanks to my mom for making me a couple shirts with the company name on it. I'm extremely thankful for all the help I've received so far. Guys like Tom Lipton, Adam Booth, Randy Richard, Ray Caniglia, you know, all the guys in the machining world. It's just an amazing community. The help that I've received from little things, asking simple little questions and getting a response back from these guys who are just, I mean, they're experts, is just amazing to me. And then getting stuff sent, you know, sending me a bunch of steel so I can test it out without having to, you know, spend a fortune buying a big chunk of it to just try it and then find out it doesn't work. And I've got a bunch of samples I can try and figure out what works the best for me. This year I'm going to try to expand my business. Right now I've had the gunsmithing inside the name, but I'm not completely licensed to take in firearms yet. So this year I'm going to start the application process for the FFL so that I can get full firearms shipped to me in the mail. I can do the work on them and then ship them back. Right now I can't hold other people's firearms, so unless they can take off just the barrel, I can't do anything for it. So I want to try to expand that, and then I also want to try to expand my machining capabilities. The closing milling machine I have is really small. The smithy can mill also. It's a 3-in-1 machine, but I'm not real happy with the milling side of it. It works well for what it is, but I want to be able to handle bigger items, bigger cuts basically. So I want to try to upgrade my milling machine and go to a big Bridgeport type milling machine. I'll probably only be able to afford one of the Bridgeport clones or something, but they're good machines. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. And then, you know, further down the road, getting a bigger lathe. The smithy can handle. I can handle quite a bit with it. And then I've got the Atlas for smaller stuff if I need to. But milling wise, I feel like I'm underpowered, so I'm going to try to get a new milling machine. The work that I'm going to be expanding on this year is I've got a couple more fabrication jobs in the works. I talked with a guy who has a boat repair job or business, and he said he was looking for a new machinist to take care of some of the stuff for him, so I might be getting that contract, which would give me a set, you know, pretty much a set amount of work coming in, doing fabrication stuff, which is my passion. I love building things. I love the gunsmithing, making muzzle brakes. Any kind of fabrication is just, that's what I love to do now. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you the different things that I received, the different samples, and we'll get to the video. So here's the steel that Tom sent me. Get this unwrapped here and take a look at it. Alright, so I've got the first bar here is grab my scale here. So about 5 5/8 long, and it is 1 5/8 in diameter. And this is the 8620. And then he also sent me a bar of pump shaft. It says best guess 1144. And this one is 1.5 inches. That's a tad bit shorter, right at 5 inches. And then these are hitch pins from a train car. So this one says train hitch pin 4140 heat treated. And this one is the same. This one's got a little bit of a rib running around the edge here. I don't know if that's just a wear mark or if it was a repair where it was welded or something, but these are both pretty close in length. One is about 4 5/8 and the other one is about 4 7/8. And these are both, I think, 1.5 inches or 1 5/8. So I might be getting a little furnace here soon so I can heat treat, just a small furnace so I could do like parts just this size, about the most I could fit in it. So I might wait to mess with these, see how hard they are. They look, based on this cut, they look like they're really, really stinking hard on the outside edge at least. So I might wait and see how they machine. If they're too hard, I might wait until I get the furnace and anneal them. But I was very thankful. So now I've got a little pile of different steel that I can sample and test out and see how it machines, and how it's going to hold up to being a muzzle brake for a shotgun. Alright, I thought I'd bring you guys over here real quick just to explain a couple things on how I designed the brakes. So the standard shotgun bore diameter for a 12 gauge is 0.73. Most of them, if you measure them out, measure 0.729, but 730 is the cylinder bore diameter. So the barrel is perfectly straight, that's the diameter all the way down. When it gets to the end where the muzzle brake is going to sit, I want a little bit more clearance than just leaving it that size all the way down. So I drill it out to 3/4 of an inch, which is 0.75, and then I'll go in with a boring bar and I will make a smooth cut. So this will get brought up a little bit more, but this is the nominal size. This is the size I don't want to go any smaller than when I make the muzzle brakes. The muzzle brake dimensions, and again, you guys are going to see how horrible my drawing ability is here. So total size is 2 inches and 3/4. I want to keep at least 1 inch on the barrel. So the outside diameters, this first one, I usually start with an 1 1.25 bar, and I'll turn it down to 1.200. So this first diameter is 1 inch, 200 thousandths. The second point back here, I machined down to 1.07 or so, just so that there's a little bit of taper. This measurement isn't so drastically important. Neither of these measurements are really drastically important. I just want to get smooth finishes on the outside. This little chamfer here is just a real short 45 degree, and that way it'll match. There'll be a chamfer here, a chamfer here, and a chamfer here. And then I'll make a shoulder inside, and this shoulder here is machined to fit a specific shotgun. So the one that I'm currently doing, the shotgun is 0.8333. So I want to go 1/1000th under that, so I'm going to machine it to 0.832. And I'll try to hit as close as I can to 0.8320. So this will be 8320. There'll be a tiny little shoulder, and then this section here will be just over 750 thousandths. And that way, when the barrel comes in, it registers against this shoulder. I have 1.25 inches. I'll do that here. Inch and a quarter there, and this I have 1.5 inches. Now these chamfers end up being about 1/8 of an inch wide, so there's not going to be anything in the chamfered section. So that gives my slots a range of just about 1.25 inches. That way I can cut the slots, and if I want to do anything at the front, I still have room. I can put the slots a little bit closer together. But this is just the basic dimensions. I figured I'd show you guys. I'm obviously by no means an engineer that knows how to draw up blueprints, but I can figure the design out in my head, throw it on paper, and then machine it. So this is what we're doing today. This bore will be taken up. Right now we just drilled it out to 750 thousandths, so it's probably just over that with the drill bit. And then we're gonna make a finishing cut, or what I call a skim cut. I'll come in here and zero everything out with it barely touching, and then make a pass so that I have a clean bore I can measure, and my machine's zeroed out so that I know that that bore is 0 to my dial. And then when I start making my cuts, I know exactly where I'm at. I'm not second guessing and bouncing all over the place. I can come in, zero the machine, come in and make a cut, measure, and then I know how much I have to go from there. So let's get back on the machine and we'll get it done. Alright, so I'm just getting this new facing tool set and adjusted. I figured I'd throw a video of it on my second cut. The first cut was a little bit low, so I'll try it again. one smooth finish. This is the facing tool that Randy Richard gave me, and then this is the piece of W1 drill rod that he gave me, and I'm going to be making another shotgun break out of this and seeing how it works. So far, Randy, double A on the facing tool, and the W1 drill rod looks like it's going to machine up really nicely. Right, now we're just going to get to drill and see how this W1 drill rod drills. Oops. A tad bit too much oil. Alright, so I've got my first drill bit in. I'm stepping it out real slowly just to try to keep the drills from wandering at all. The first drill bit I'm using, this is a Cobalt quarter, and it's got a it's the parabolic. I really like doing my first hole with that. This drill drills super straight. Even though it's really small, it's really good at clearing the chips out, so I like it. Alright, that's giving us enough. Alright, I've got my stop set to 1 1/4 inches. I've got it where it's just barely touched off here. My dial is zeroed. I'm going to make a clean cut, and then we'll start measuring. That's not cleaning it up all the way, so we're going to go a little bit more. I'm just looking, making sure I'm doing a complete cut all the way around, and that's good there. That's got a really nice finish. I like that. So now to get the snap gauges, my chronometer. see where we're at here. Alright, we're at 750, 61. So I'll write that down over here. And that's going to be where we're starting from. Alright, so we're back here, and I'm going to start. What did I say we had to take off? I totally forgot. Let's see. Alright, we've got 0.071 to come off. I'm going to start with 10 thousandths, which is going to be 20 thousandths total reduction, and see how it cuts. So far, this is cutting really nice. I really like the finish. Alright, that's got us, right dead on. I'm at 0.8312, and I'm looking for 0.8320. And this is nice and cool still. And it's got a super, super nice finish. So I think I'm just going to leave it where it's at, and then I'll come in here and just kind of buff it out a little bit and take another measurement. Alright, I finished the buffing. I didn't do it on video because I didn't think it'd be all that great of a video to watch, so you couldn't really see anything. But I wanted to see if I could bring you guys in here and show you the finish that I got on the inside here. I don't know how well it's going to turn out, but I mean, this is just so smooth. There's a tiny little line from when I pulled the tool out, but other than that, I mean, feeling it is just absolutely amazing to me how smooth that is. And all I did was hit it with some of this 240 grit and 400, and then some emery or Scotch-Brite, and it cleaned it up. It was only a couple 10 thousandths off, and now we are at 0.8319, and we were aiming for 0.8320, so I think we're going to call that good. Alright, I'm getting ready to turn the outside diameters down
And what I did is I chucked it up so there's 2 teeth on the jaw, on the 3 jaw holding it, and then I'm using my live center to hold it because I'm going to be doing some turning here, and I don't want to run the risk of it slipping or moving in any way. So I'm just going to take a quick measurement here, see where we're starting at. Okay, we're at 1.315, and I want to go down to probably at least 1/4 of an inch, or 1 1/4. Usually I start with 1 1/4 and I turn off to get a smooth finish, but since this is a little over, I'm going to shoot for 1 1/4. So we're really only going to be making a light finishing cut on here. The finish is coming out really nice. It's real super smooth. Can't tell, but it looks like I might have chipped my Yep, I do. I have a tiny little chip, so I need to switch that out. So I'll bring you guys back in a second. Alright, I got a nice brand new tip on here. Let's see, take it back to 0. Let's see what we're measuring there. So we've got about 50 thousandths to come off still. I think what I'm going to do is run this up, and I'm going to make one last debating on whether or not to even mess with this finish because it's just a little bit more grainy than this one, but I think they'll both clean up really, really nice. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm not gonna mess with it. It looks good. We'll leave it good. I will, however, do a little bit of blending with some emery cloth, smooth out the finish a little bit. But we're pretty much there now. We just got to get the slots cut into it, and then we'll bring it back over and part it off and be done. Alright, I've readjusted everything and I made a cut on the bottom side. I've rotated it around already. The chips are coming out kind of small, nice controlled chips. When I'm cutting, I'm having to control my speed really, really carefully. Because I'm using a carbide end mill, I don't want to cross load it at all or too much, and I don't want to have it bite and pull and get a crappy finish. So I've got everything set how I had it for cutting the other side, which I didn't get all on film, but now I'm gonna get going here again and see if I can get this side cut a little bit smoother. Not smoother finish, really just a smoother operation now that I kind of figured out how to run this steel. Alright, it's got quite a bit of chip buildup in there, but so far everything's going well now. So I think I'm going to make these cuts and move the camera because it's kind of in my way for doing this, and I don't want it getting too wet. Alright, I'm getting ready to part this off. It's only catching on 2 teeth back here, but I got it locked down pretty tight. Let me double check actually, make sure it's locked in good. And I'm just going to take it really, really slow. It's only parting through, a little bit more than a 1/4 of an inch or so. And I'm just going to take it nice and easy. Start at about 200 RPM and see how it goes. And we are through. Let me switch my stuff around here and we'll take a look at it. Alright, I've got it chucked up just real lightly. I'm just going to do a couple cleanup cuts here. Actually, I'm going to use another boring bar here. Let's see. What I'm looking for here is I'm trying to get that section to right where it's at right there, to 1/4 of an inch. So it's quarter and then a slot, quarter, slot, quarter, slot, quarter. And we are done. Now it's just a little bit of cleaning up and deburring, and I've already cleaned the pass-through hole out here. So I'm just gonna, by hand, clean up these little edges here, and I might chuck it up again, just take some emery cloth over the outside to clean up any of the burrs there, and it'll be ready to go.